Alright. We have to use my laptop mic, which kind of is a shame. But we all good. Okay. We're going to start soon. Let me share this up. I'm going to light. Wah, 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 wah. Can you hear us? Alright, let's share this. Live now. Can you answer that? Track breakdown. Can you answer it over there? Alright. If you're in here now, come hang. And if you want to share this up, that'd be tight. Just share the link to the stream. We're going to start in a couple minutes. Can you guys hear me? Give me a frog in the chat if you can hear me. Alright, good. We got some frogs. Tight. Alright. Cool. Where we should share. You want to share it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff? Alright, sweet. Let's go to the event. Sick. Live on the internet.
What up, gang? We are going live right now.
Yeah, we're live. Right now!
Right now. Look at it.
Yeah.
We're going to break down this track for you.
Freqs. How we made it.
Freqs. Freqs.
We're live.
Now on Twitch.
Breaking down Freqs. Break it down. Shout out if you know that track.
Oh, right.
What?
My fucking mic doesn't work.
On your phone, yeah. Yeah, the mic on your phone doesn't work.
Here, can I see your phone?
Is that what you're... Oh, right. I see. I see. You were trying to do that.
Yeah.
Oh. The struggles. Okay. Post. Okay, how we doing? Break it down. Downtown Trivia. Welcome. Downtown Trivia is going to be monitoring the chat. He's going to be...
What's going on, guys? We are live on Twitch right now. I just interrupted it.
Yeah, we're live on Twitch.
We're live on Twitch right now, breaking down.
You're
Freqs.
seeing the horrible behind-the-scenes messy view right now of
Yeah.
Instagram. All right.
Come check it out. We're breaking down our track. Out on World Famous.
Yeah. I would have cleaned up a little better. All right, let's go. Boom, here we are. If you want to see the behind-the-scenes look of how messy my desk is, check our Instagram. All right. Okay, sup, gang. We are here. We're going to break down our track, Freqs. Thanks to everybody who's joined us so far. And if you guys want to do us a massive favor, give this video a share.
Big old share.
And we'll get a bunch of people here in the chat. If you're here hanging out, drop...
Are people in the comments right now?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Drop a little comment and say hello. And if you guys have any questions throughout this whole thing, don't be afraid to ask. We're going to be watching. And so we can stop and answer any questions. And we can, even if it was not about this song or if it's about anything, we'll do it. Here, Dale, you want to get in a little closer?
Yeah. A little scoot your little booty hole over.
All right. So let's start with Freqs. This is it. We'll probably just focus on this first section here of the drop. It's kind of it's a tech house track, so I mean, you just build one section and duplicate it throughout the rest. This is Ableton Live. Here we go. The intro, pretty simple. We got a bass. We got our main sort of lead plucky melody. Big old perk group. Alright.
Come hang backstage. Join the Zoom call.
Oh yeah, we gotta take that off. Alright. Okay, cool. Todd, what do you mean it's sounding weird? Is it sounding a little better now? Or is it sounding kind of distorted?
Is it sounding weird in the sense of like weird house music, or weird in the sense of like something's wrong?
Something's desperately wrong. Oh no.
Yeah.
Let us know. Okay, so with any track, we almost always start with the kick drum. I mean, it's kind of like the foundation of any track. In this one, it looks like we used Cashmere Punchy Kick G sharp, which
Shout out-
we've
shout out Cashmere.
shout out Cashmere, layered with analog TH kick. Both of these kicks are key labeled already, so let's take a look down in here. So this one looks like it's not pitched. Here's the thing, guys. We wrote this song a long time ago.
Was it like a year ago, February?
Yeah, so this song we wrote in February of last,
It's probably
February
more
of
like-
last year.
One of the more like houseier transition songs.
Yeah, that we wrote.
That
We
we
kind of
wrote,
had like a
yeah.
bass housey phase, and
I
yeah.
think this was like right in the realm of when we.
So I'm looking here just to check to see what how we pitched this kick drum. It looks like what we did was I flattened it and froze it and then pitched it. So what we normally do when we pitch our kick drums is we'll have the regular sort of sample here, and then we'll go in here to do our pitching and transpose them along here. So this sample was probably G sharp, and we dropped it down to G for the song because the whole track is in G. So that's how we would have pitched it. And a fun way we can check to see what the pitch of our kick drums are is using Spectrum.
Ba-da-da.
Spectrum!
Find the fundamental.
Dale's fundamental frequencies.
Yep.
So, to do this, we'll just loop this for a second. And we can go here and open this up, and it'll open nice and big. And now we can see the whole waveform of our kick drum. And if you go right here, you can see this is sort of like the main peak of the whole thing. You can see the main sort of sub-frequency. And if you look down here, it'll kind of tell us what note our cursor is kind of hovering over. So if I move it over, you can see A sharp, B, C, C sharp. So I'm going to line that up with our main fundamental there. And this is hitting a G sharp or a G. Looks like a G, but maybe like tuned a little up a bit. But I think it should be hitting a G in this case. But you know what? Also, always trust your ears.
And you can find like all different frequencies per note on scales.
Yeah, you can look it up on the internet, and
There
you
it
can
is.
say, "Hey, what is the hertz of a G?" And you can that way. Actually, we'll get in a call. Get in a call. Dale's on it. Dale's on it.
Hello, Manager Todd.
Manager Todd's on the phone.
What's up?
All right. You're probably hearing that.
Oh fuck. My phone.
Jared's phone doesn't work, and he
My
keeps
speaker-
trying to answer it.
My speaker broke on my phone, and I keep picking up my phone as if I can talk on it. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Anyways, So, what's up, Dale?
He's telling me what sounds weird.
Oh no, something sounds weird. I thought I fixed it.
Oh, yeah, we're on his laptop speakers. Probably on.
Is it not fixed now?
It's just when you play it, there's like a delay.
Oh, okay. So it delays from when I talk.
Yeah.
It's not.
You hear the music twice.
Yeah, but you shouldn't hear it twice too bad because I feel like I've turned the volume down.
Oh. Okay. I think I got you.
I just can't have the volume very loud.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'd both
All
need
right.
headphones.
We'll get it sorted. Thank you for the call, good sir.
Yeah, this is why we have these guys, folks. This is why we have someone on the other side watching what we're doing. All right, breaking this down. Gosh. All right, back to more stuff. Okay, perk group. Our perk group is already mostly consolidated, but I'll show you what we've done here. So we've taken a bunch of loops and kind of chopped them up. Now, let me show you our favorite loop chopping techniques. So, let's take this loop for example. And this one's probably already chopped up and consolidated. So if we take this, but in this case, we're going to warp it to our BPMs. We're going to warp it 128 to here. But what we like doing is it was too noisy, and we really just wanted to use it as like a sort of a texture layer that textures on top of some of our main cymbal-y groups. We're going to bring this down. And what this does in beats mode is it's taking a point at this transient and then creating like a little fade. And then if you tighten this up even more, the fade gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter on
Until
each
it's like a click.
on each one of these little transients. So then from there, we can take this and kind of chop it up how we feel and reorganize it how we feel in terms of like the whole groove of the song, right? And then, so say in this case, loop a section here. Let's loop all this. And we're going to solo this and this and this. And then maybe at this part we're hearing like a little click. So I'm actually going to crossfade these, get rid of that little click a bit. And then maybe let's try moving this one over to here. Because I think I like having sort of these rhythms that are bouncing in different spots between this rhythm. So you can see these bigger notes here. I'm going to have them like in different gaps here. So I'm going to try and have it sort of bounce between these two a little bit.
Yeah, Jordan, we always start with drums.
Yeah, pretty much always start with drums.
It's like good practice to like try to create some kind of like motif with your drums that can kind of direct the energy of your song.
Yeah. Let's keep it going this way. Keep it going this way. And yeah, so we just keep chopping up this loop. And then, once you're kind of happy with it, I'll always hit Command J. And that'll consolidate it. And so now we just have our own loop that we've kind of made and edited ourselves. And then we can paste that along. And paste it along. Ta-da-da-da. And you know what's tight is if you want to keep this, which is like really just a modified loop of someone else's, you can just drag it over, or in your project setting over here, if you go user current project, now in process consolidated, this here is a sample now, and I can save this to one of my packs over here. I can save it to one of my drum favorites. If I go here and go drums, now it's going to show up here in my drum favorites somewhere there, this loop, just by hitting consolidate, and you can go in and yeah, it's just like an edited version of someone else's loop to kind of make it your own. All right, cool. And little workflow hacks are great like that. And so like a lot of stuff that we're dragging in are like reconsolidated things that we've made. Whatnot. So anyways, honestly, the drum processing in this really isn't... I was going through it earlier because I had just opened the project for the first time in literally like a year and a half. And so I was like, oh gosh, I should probably check and see what we did. There's really not a lot here, but I think a lot of this was already frozen and flattened. And so we're really not left with a lot in this case. However, I can show you on the perk group itself, we have a Pro C2, which is just a little bit of compression. It's going to like kind of slam a little bit of everything together. So I can show you kind of what that sounds like on and off. So that's with it on and off. So it's really kind of just, you know, squashing it a little bit. The reason I love using the Pro C2 is you can really get a good visual of how much compression is being applied and how quickly it's being applied, and your release and your attack, just by looking at this line here. The red is showing how much is being applied, and you can kind of see in the background like the difference of like what's really ducking. So in this case, like the clap's probably being ducked the most, and just to be in line with everything else and kind of even the volume of the whole group so it's all kind of sitting in the same space, gelling together. Do you know what's funny though is like I probably don't do that as much these days. I don't know. Lately, the hot thing in Cloverdale tunes lately is Decapitator.
Decapitator. Just fucking decapitate it.
I would, yeah. We've been decapitating all our songs. We're big decapitators. I just love how it adds a little crispiness. What this is a nice saturator. And just a little bit of drive on it. And depending on the group, I like to brighten it up a little bit sometimes. And yeah, just test these out to see which one kind of works.
It's definitely like an easy kind of plugin to do that with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there's not like an overwhelming amount of tools that you can use, it's like pretty straightforward. And just trust your ear.
Trust it, and it makes it crispy and saturated. Love it. All right.
Real crispy.
Yeah. Now in this case, I might bring it down. But that's, and I wouldn't, yeah. The thing about Decapitator is, if we look actually, say I didn't have this EQ here, I always notice it introduces a ton of low-end info. See, look there, versus without it. Well, I guess one of the sounds has a bunch of low-end info. Okay, well, say one of them didn't, I don't know which one was causing that. One of them is, though, the clap. Wow, that's nuts. EQ your claps, folks. Look at that. See how much low-end info is coming through on that clap? EQ them out. This is rookie mistakes. This is called... Alright. So yeah, we could cut out that. But yeah, so here, this is a good way to show how much low-end info Decapitator actually accidentally sort of introduces. So this is without Decapitator and with Decapitator. So it's important, I always find, to make sure that you have an EQ afterwards, just to kind of roll off some of that dirtiness that Decapitator introduces if you're using it. So yeah. Hey Kyla. Sup? We're all hanging out in chat. Alright, cool. Let's turn all these back on. Not that one. And we'll skip ahead to some synthy stuff. I feel like the drum processing on this one is probably not the best example. We'll do some more streams where we'll focus a little bit more on some of our more modern.
We'll show you how it's done when we do our rework.
Yeah, rework next Tuesday. That's going to be a fun stream. Okay, so the lead is pretty exciting. I have it frozen, but I managed to find a version from an older project that wasn't frozen. This is what it sounds like on its own, which is kind of cool. So, but this is the frozen version which I had in this project, because this project was actually done on my old laptop, which wouldn't have run this very well. But this computer will. So it's actually Mini V stacked with a bunch of stuff. The main 2 layers of it. So one layer is, and if we open up, Mini V is a plugin by Arturia. And in this case, we're just running. So there's 3 oscillators, and these are the volumes of each. So you can see. All right, let's leave this here. This is our shape. I feel like this is the one that's controlling the most of it. Let's see. And as well as this one's pretty loud too. But really, this is just a preset that we've just kind of modified and tweaked. The bulk of it you can do also in here, in your like filter emphasis, by controlling just like the simple decay time and sustain time. And so if we wanted to maybe make this a little longer. Ooh. I don't know why we didn't do that. That could have been fun. Maybe the
Second drop, yeah.
VIP will do that. Let's hear the song. I know why. Because it's annoying.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways,
maybe we do that for a reason.
Yeah, I wonder, but if maybe you did it with the filter decay time, because I feel like the filter's also controlling a lot of that squeakiness.
Yeah.
Let's edit that. Maybe we'll make it like. No. Anyways, nonetheless, Mini V, which is running into the sausage fattener, doing quite a bit of fattening, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. It's a thick sausage.
EQing out some of the low end, then Saturn, which is just a fun little saturator, which I have a blast with all the time, just using some of their tape settings. What's cool is it's multi-band, so if I wanted to, in this case I don't need to, but say I had a bass or something, I could create a couple different bands and then control. So say maybe the top end I wanted taped up, and the low end I wanted tubed. And each one also has like a tone EQ as well. So this is just this tone EQ for this band. And this is just...
Third party is not showing up on the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh,
I've
no.
had this issue before.
Oh, no. Okay, wait. I know what I need to do. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. Hang tight. You can't see my plugins. But it's okay. I'm gonna fix it. Done. Okay. Wait 1 second. I just gotta make it smaller. Sorry, gang. Hang tight. Hang tight. A little smaller. Okay. And put our above that. Let's go. We are back. And look, now you can see our plugins. Wow, that was embarrassing. I was
realized, I was like, because I knew it was delayed, so I was like, oh, maybe it's just delayed. And then I started watching, and I was like, no, they're not showing up.
Oh, man. Okay, wow, this... Was Mini V not showing up that whole time, too?
Yeah, no.
Oh, man, this stream's not going well, folks. Okay, anyways, guys, this is the synth I was trying to show you. This is Mini V. It's made by Arturia. It's modeled after an old Mini Moog synth. And it's kind of what's controlling the lead in this case. Except I'm going to dial in this decay time entire. I was playing around with it too much. Anyway, so there's just 2 of those layered on top of each other. And I'll go back and show you this one. So there's this one. And this one. And yeah, they're both, I think, probably processed the same because I probably just duplicated them. And then each one is just playing different oscillators here on the synth, just to give it a bit of difference, a little bit of sort of width maybe. Only one of them is being run into this reverb. The other one's pretty dry.
Just add some girth.
Some girth. Stack your stuff, folks. Stack your stuff. EQ them right so they're not, fighting too much with each other. But a good stack never hurts. Okay. They're running into a sausage fattener, which is also a Saturn. Saturn is a fun saturator, which I was explaining earlier. And I can explain it again. There's a bunch of different saturation modes, which is super tight. It's got an EQ band sort of tone, like fades for each one. There's you can have it multi-band. You can do a ton of bands. I don't even know how many you can do. And then draw these all. And then change the level of each band if you wanted to get real crazy. And then each band, if you wanted this one to be warm and this one to be tubed, and you wanted each one to have a different tone, you can do that too, which is super tight. Saturn is definitely like one of my go-to saturators for sort of versatility. However, the other saturator that I've been using non-stop lately, we already talked about it, but they couldn't see it, Jarrett, because we had our settings wrong. You couldn't see our plugins. Decapitator! Anyways, we had put it on the drum bus earlier in the stream, but I didn't realize that you couldn't see our plugins. Anyways, Decapitator works similar to Saturator. It's just going to add a little bit of analog-y type tape distortion and saturation to your sound. It's going to make it sound a little old schooly, a little nicer on the ears. Love it. This one's sweet. It's got a nice low cut, high cut. So those are kind of your only EQ controls. The thump is just adding like a little bit of resonant peak on the low cut, and then drive. And then here's kind of your saturation modes. Usually when I'm using Decapitator, I just kind of cycle through them all. Just pick whatever
I don't know.
think
I don't
sounds
actually
best.
know what they stand for.
I watched a video once and they told me, but they're all modeled after old tape saturators, and I think
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways,
Use your ears.
use your ears, folks. Trust them. That's honestly like the rule of the game, right? I always trust your ears. All right. It's running into a de-esser, which is something I used to use all the time to kind of cut out some really like harsh, annoying high-end frequencies. It's like made for vocals when you have that sound and it kind of gets picked up in the mic and it sounds really harsh in your ears. So what you can do in this case, I'm using on this kind of high-pitched sort of syncy sound because it definitely has a lot of harsh frequencies. So if I turn it off and then turn it on, so it's really only catching one little spot. See where it's green here? So that one's clearly just showing like a pretty annoying spiky frequency. So how I kind of catch it, you can dial in the threshold here, and then this band here is showing like which frequencies it's going to pick out. So I can actually go audition and listen for the annoying frequency. You can kind of hear it there. And this doesn't actually need to be all the way up here. And then what it's going to do is it's going to duck that mount by like 13 decibels. So it's really ducking that out a ton. So if I bring that up, actually, and here it's nice and loud, and here it's going to kind of duck it out a little bit. So it's like not nearly as harsh. This here split band and wide band, because it's a de-esser, which is kind of made for a vocal, if you have it on the wide band, it's going to kind of duck the whole, like a bigger wide band, Whereas a split band, I think, is going to do just the high end and just the spot that.
And there's a ton of de-essers out there. Like Waves has a bunch of, and there's a lot of like visual de-essers too that kind of.
However, lately I got a new one called Soothe. And Soothe is a little bit more fancy than a de-esser because it actually isn't just for de-essing, it's for a bunch of stuff. It is really accurate in picking out which frequencies. You can kind of dial in the really harsh ones and control how much they're ducking out by, and the sensitivity and the sharpness and whatnot. This is definitely
right, you split these with Craig.
Yeah.
About that.
If you have friends that also are producers, hit them up and split plugins with them.
Split plugins.
Yeah, you can usually have 2 or 3. Well, usually 2 licenses. So
unless you choose to pirate, which I don't condone, and have never done it before because I am an upstanding citizen, then splitting it with your friends is a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so these 2 synths are stacked on top of each other. They're running into this group, which has the classic dub echo, which is just actually, if you're using Ableton, everybody has the dub echo. It's a audio effect rack up here in space. Dub echo. Yeah. Oh, wow. Lux is calling us plug-in whores.
Plug-in whores.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to collect it over time.
Wow.
All right. Dub echo. And this, I'm honestly just automating the dry wet. Probably just in the breakdowns, right? Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Just in the breakdowns. Just automating that. Probably the same here.
This is probably even before like our endless smile days and.
Oh man, this is before a lot of stuff.
This is before a lot of.
This is a very old project. It's kind of like some older techniques that we don't seem to use too much anymore. You know, like this. This was probably just a rack that I downloaded at one point, the NYC compression rack. Which let's take a look at it. Let's open her up. Which is just a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
I remember actually downloading these racks.
That's like dubstep processing right there.
This is just tighten and widen and EQing. Honestly, I would have just messed around with some of these macros on these racks to get it sound good, just trusting my ear. When you're diving into old projects, you're like, what was I doing? But in this case, this is all just on this one rack, so I really wouldn't have even opened any of this.
Yeah.
I probably just was like, cool, let's try out this rack, and just played around with it, which in this case it looks like there is, let's see. So air is just adding some like high-endy stuff. So it's like an EQ, compressor, a little bit tube saturation, thrust. Ooh, it's kind of getting loud, so that's like some more drive. T and W, which I'm assuming is tightening and widening, so that's kind of controlling your stereo image a bit. And this is probably overall volume. Oh, no. Neat. Sometimes you download racks, kind of forget what they do. Alright, let's keep going. Our main bass is pretty simple. It's main serum. Oh look, we're running that same rack on here. Just a little bit of compression on it, that's all it's got. This bass,
that
bass. A lot of the dugga is coming straight from this LFO, which is controlling the filter cutoff. So it's just kind of opening and closing really quickly. But in this case, we like brought it off the grid a little bit, and you can see they're kind of different volumes. And because of that, it's not like bouncing at the same note every single time. I think this is like a cool way to create some cool variations. And some cool ways to get the song all spicy like. Because if you actually look at the MIDI note, it's not actually playing it's just going dun dun dun, and the is coming from this, which is just the filter. So the actual sub note, I don't think actually ever goes away because it's just the filter, right? So if you look, this kind of just should rattle the whole doom, 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 and then the filter's kind of controlling that. Anyways, it was just a cool little way to get that sound, and then this doesn't even have anything exciting. This is turned off, so it's just a little bit of tube distortion up there.
Hey, sick. We just hit 2,000 followers on Instagram. Todd, I told you that we'd hit 2,000 Instagram followers by the end of April.
Nice. Well done. Well done. Now the exciting bit is we took that same bass sound, which was just kind of run again through Saturn, EQ'd a little bit, added some more of that compression, and then run into, layered on top of this sound, which is sort of, let's take a look at this. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same sound.
Yeah, just octaved up, I think.
Well, no, it's what it is this one's octave up, but it's also FM'd from B, so it's kind of creating that frequency modulation from this one, which I've pitched all the way down. So let's kind of revert back and show you. Let's so it would have been something like this initially. In the other one. However, if we go here, and then this one I just pitched it way up, and this one will go way down from there because we're going to do FM from B. Get that crazy high noise, and again, kind of played around with these, and there we go. Sick. Cool. Pretty straightforward. And then this is being run. Here we I pulled out that really sort of like high-end frequency. Pulled it out real nice and loud. We got a vocal. It just sounds kind of fun. And this one, we've brought in the width a bit. It's running through vocal synth. This is us plug-in horse again. It says Lux. Vocal synth in this case is doing some pitch correction and some distortion and a filter and chorus. I like vocal synth is a fun little one to. I like it's a super easy, quick pitch correction. I haven't used it in a long time actually.
Yeah,
I like to try out a lot of the new plugins, and this one is a fun one sometimes. But I also sometimes find it like really can be a lot when you're like messing around with some of these ones, the vocoder and stuff. But some of these distortion ones, the filtering and stuff, is they're nice on a vocal and they're kind of built for vocals. And so hey, try it out. Not a lot of other processing on this aside from it being run into our sidechain. I guess that's kind of like explain our sidechain method. It's definitely pretty straightforward. So I like to have two buses at the top. One is sort of the main sidechain bus and how it works. So anything that I want sidechained to sort of the big kick of it all runs through this bus and just gets ducked by LFO tool, and it's being triggered by this MIDI trigger, so which I line up with any kick drum. So anytime there's a kick drum, this MIDI trigger hits, which triggers this LFO tool, which kind of ducks it all. And then in this case, so I took the bass and route it to sidechain bus, and in this case, this bass routed to sidechain bus. Everything gets routed to the sidechain bus. Then I like to have another one called Light, and Light is the same sort of deal, but just a little shorter. Actually, I want to make sure that's smoothed out. This smooth function, if you use Alpha Tool, basically just creates a little smoothed corner there so that you don't get a click. Because a lot of times when you cut off automation at a straight line, you'll get a click. So yeah, 2 sidechain buses, and this vocal is just being run to the lighter one, and then a little bit of send reverb down here, and that's that. Yeah, another bass here, which has nothing on it apparently, just serum, and with a couple sine waves running through some. Nah, never mind. Zero mix, not even on, no even tube distortion.
But it brings up a good point. A lot of people over process.
Yeah, for sure. I think like if you can get a sound to sound good, simple on its own, don't worry about stacking a bunch of other effects and processing on there. Like if it doesn't need it, it doesn't need it. And really, I like less is more, and totally less is more. Focus on like trying to like write cool, catchy songs.
As Botnick once told us, and these kind of words to live by. Take some shit out.
Yeah.
That's every single time we send them something. They're just like, take some shit out.
Yeah, So, I think this is like the majority of the... I think there's some cooler stuff in the breakdown. Let's, this granulator. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So, I took the vocal that we had, which is this sort of... I thought it was a recording that I had done. I was totally wrong. It's actually from a sample. But anyways, it just says frequency, just like that. Loaded it into Granulator 2, which is a fun Max for Live plugin, which is basically granular synthesis. And so how it works is when you play a note, it'll start looping this file position. So this is the whole file frequency goes across like that, and then when you hit play, here I'll show you how it sounds. But in this case, you can kind of hear it say frequency, frequency, because what I'm doing is I'm automating this, and so what this is doing is it's kind of scrubbing the file. So it's scrubbing along here, but this is kind of perpetually looping. But the way it works is it doesn't actually loop the same spots. You can kind of see where they like scatter in like that. Anyways, it's creating this kind of like really cool, tone, texture. But I'm slowly making the grain size. No, I'm pitching up the grain.
It's a big fuck with it plugin.
Yeah, you really got to kind of dial it in. It's very fidgety, but it's a ton of fun.
You got to go into it with an open mind, because if you go in with specifics, it's just going to piss you off.
Yeah.
It's really just going to piss you off.
This is the same deal. And it's all automated. So it's a cool way to like mess around with vocals and mess around with different sounds, etc. Let's explore. And here, let me see how it was processed. We did some panning, so this is kind of cool. It's basically just over time it's spreading back and forth, slowly getting wider and wider. Auto filter, CLA vocals, which is your classic Waves vocal bundle, just to slap on there. Quick and dirty vocal processing. Run into a couple different reverb and delay sends. Give it some space. I always like to do a bunch of sends because I find it's better to have just a couple reverbs in your track rather than having a bunch of reverbs on a bunch of different tracks that are all different. If you use the same one, then there's going to be less room for muddiness, and it's all going to make sense and feel like it's sort of in the same space, in the same room. Try to limit the number of reverbs you use in your track.
And if you have it on a send, it's not affecting like the actual sound. So if you put it on your actual channel, that's processing. But if it's in your sends, it's affecting the channel, not the actual sound.
Sends. They're dope. Very useful. Let's take a listen to this riser. Let's see. I feel like this riser probably bass washout. Oh, I guess it must have all been done in Serum. Damn. So what do we got? We have a LFO on 16th notes, which is on the coarse pitch. Laser. Yeah, so basically
Cloverdale lasers 101.
Cloverdale lasers. Here we go. Well, here, let's look at the MIDI pattern to start. So it's da 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 da. But because it's on 16th notes here, this is kind of what's controlling what you're hearing. Really, is this 16th rate. And yeah, it's just controlling the coarse pitch, and so it's just pitching from high to low, but with the unison, and it's detuned a little bit on like a pretty simple sine wave. Probably pretty heavily distorted with the diode and some chorus. And then this LFO probably just is controlling the main pitch wheel, right? And the detune over time. So over time it detunes. So let's take a look, because this is going over 32 bars. So it's detuning, it's pitching up, detuning and pitching up. Pretty cool. And then also have this bass washout, which is just like a reverb and filter. And yeah, that's that. Pretty straightforward. Pretty easy riser to make. Done. Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Hit us up in the chat if you got any questions. If not, I feel like we've explained the majority of this one. It really was an older track that we did from a long time ago, and it was a fun one to make, and I think I'm excited to have it out for the world. If you guys haven't heard, we actually have another one coming out this Friday on Club Sweat, which is super, super dope. If you guys want to do us a huge favor, go pre-save it. There's a pre-save link in our Instagram bio. That's pre-save that. And also, if you guys have Amazon Prime, and you haven't used it on your Twitch account, you can actually tie your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and then you could subscribe. And
you gift a subscribe.
You can gift us a sub, and then we're gonna try and have some exclusive content for some of those people that gift us a sub on Twitch. Anyways, hopefully this was a good little breakdown. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions? If not, we'll.
Isn't this the weekend that we're supposed to be with Henri or Henri?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Rip.
Wish we were traveling around.
Yeah. Wish we were.
Yeah. Anyways, gang, it's been fun. We'll be back on Thursday with a new stream. Cool.